me, please. I don't know. At this point, I think I just like the music and I let it go a little further. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode on the Indie Escape Network. Tonight, we're presenting Harlow's Haunt Road to Megacon Orlando 2023 and also the Halloween Horror Picture Show. Good evening, everybody. I am Joe Ridgely, and to my that way is Terry Jarrell. How are you, sir?
I am spectacular. How are you this evening yourself, Mr. Ridgely?
I am great. Thank you. See, the one bad thing about some Facebook things, if they don't get permission, we can't tell who you are, unfortunately. But hello.
We can always break out the Ouija board and get us.
Look who's here.
Hey, Jamie.
Jamie, great to see you.
Thanks for being here.
So, Terry, what are we doing here tonight?
Not real sure. You tell me. No. This is the kickoff show for Megacon. I mean, if you can believe, Megacon is here again. Happy days are here again, and we are, the Harlow's gang. I mean, we cannot be more stoked about it this year because we have so much going on. We were there last year. We did a panel when we were just getting Harlow's rolling, and we were astounded at what a turnout we had for our panel, talking about the movie, talking about indie filmmaking, all of that. And it's even bigger this year because we're super honored and appreciative and excited about being part of the Halloween Horror Picture Show on Saturday evening or late afternoon at 5 o'clock. And then right after that, we are doing a live Q&A panel, meet and greet, and just, loosey-goosey. I mean, we're just going to talk and have fun to the audience and about anything. And we've got this Joe Ridgely guy hosting the panel for us. So we're pretty stoked about that. Yeah, just like that one. So that's kind of it. We got a bunch of stuff going on to make it a fun event. We're just kind of throwing it out there like it's a sort of the mega Harlow event. So that's all I got.
That is amazing. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to say hi to Ken, of course.
Hey, Ken.
And then we're going to say hi to Molly. Hi, Molly. And Jamie is clapping. Hey, I'm going to bring up Rick Danford. So what do you recall the name of the movie festival you're going to be at? Because I do.
Me?
Hold on, I didn't get my picture in time. That was on me, not him.
Okay.
And this is what happens when you broadcast live. The Halloween Horror Picture Show. Let me introduce Rick Danford, writer, director, producer. I mean, he wears so many freaking hats, it's not even funny. You don't know anything about that, right, Terry?
I've just, dabbled.
Rick, how the hell are you, man?
Doing great, guys. How you doing?
Hey, Rick.
Excellent. So we were talking a little in the green room, and how long has the Halloween Horror Picture Show been around?
This is, believe it or not, this is my 20th anniversary event.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Cool.
That is amazing.
It really is.
Awesome.
What can we expect at Megacon with the Halloween Horror?
Well, the Megacon event is just it's an amazing event. There's just there's so much to do that you really can't take it in a day. You have to go there multiple days. There's so many people to see, from the cosplayers to the guests to the different entertainment rooms. That's the beauty about it, is that there's always something new, and it's just the people you meet there. But the traffic is absolutely crazy. And when I mean traffic, I mean if you go out on the floor just trying to get around, it's just crazy. It's like New York on New Year's Eve, to give you a little understanding. It really is. It's an amazing thing. So the Halloween Horror Picture Show is going to be playing wall-to-wall short and feature-length horror films all day Friday, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. We're going to have some scare actors outside. They created a whole hall of horror for all the horror events that are going to be there. I think there's a really cool escape room that's going to be there as well. We'll have a table out front. So it's just going to be something that's really going to be exciting, and it's going to take all 3 days to really get a feel and see everything.
So what does one have to do in order to get in your film festival?
Well, the first thing, which is always key, is to actually submit your film. Because, I mean, there's a lot of films out there that are great, but they don't submit, so I can't really get them in there. But I mean, if you submit your film. But the bottom line is that we get hundreds of submissions. And that's the hardest part, is that there's so many good films that we've had to turn down. And with running a film festival, it's so difficult because you're trying to not just put in what you consider the best films, but you're also trying to cater to the audience that you've got, because you're trying to keep people in seats. So you try and choose, after you've been doing it for a while, to get a feel of the people that go to your film festival and enjoy it, and you want to be able to show them the best films that you can possibly put together. But that's the hardest part, because I feel so bad every single film that I turn down, and them thinking that they've underachieved or something like that. And it really, a lot of times, it's not that. It's either timing or whatever the case is, because you're trying to fill slots. You've got X amount of hours, and it's really a difficult juggling act that people don't understand. That I hate turning people down. I really do.
Well, Terry, I am so glad you had good timing. Let's take a couple of comments. We got Ken. Hiya, Rick.
Hey, Ken.
I'm here. Who's ready to play? Facebook user, you didn't get permission to StreamYard. We don't know who you are. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. Turn it.
Hi, Terry and Judith. Rick. Hello, Judith.
That's Terry. Hey, Rick, this is my mom. Mom, meet Rick. our biggest fan.
Oh, and we'll see Crystal in just a moment.
I have no idea who that is.
So, Terry, you lucked out, man. You got 5 o'clock on Saturday, the last movie on Saturday.
I know. We're so
then the panel afterwards.
Yeah. It just, just everything just worked out so well. And again, we're just humbled to be part of the event in any form, but the way it just sort of all gelled together, we're getting a lot of great feedback. We take our time, and you've seen this, Joe, to really kind of cultivate and build our audience and followers and supporters and things like that, and really be engaging as possible. So I think this is going to work out well for them. And we're already getting pretty blasted with the when and where and all that. So we're hoping for a good turnout. And again, we love that engagement. We love bringing kind of the experience to the to our people and our haunters. So we're really, really, really excited about the whole thing. And we've got some cool stuff. I'll show you here in a minute. But
I was going to say, do you happen to have one of the lanyards? Because I was going to ask Rick if you've seen anybody do this at one of the festivals yet.
Boy, we have
let me blow up on that.
Scads of lanyards.
Give us a close up.
I don't know if the light is like blowing out or whatever. But
gotcha.
Yeah, let's see how good that works. Yeah, we're going to be kind of roaming the floor before the screening, before the showing. Probably after about 2 o'clock roughly. And we're just giving these out. I mean, they're kind of fun. I mean, they're more fun than like, a business card or a brochure or pamphlet or something. It's like, hey, hang around.
It's a keepsake.
It's a keepsake. And it's kind of like an invitation. We want to invite you to come and see the movie and hang out. And then we're going to do some giveaways that I've posted the rules on our Facebook page, our Harlow's Haunt Movie Facebook page. But what they are is we have a new T-shirt and poster design, and I have one of the posters here. In fact, it's kind of small. What is it, like 8.5 by 11 or whatever? And
all those awards,
and all the awards so far, and also our association with Bayview Entertainment, who's our distributor. And we're going to give away.
I'm sorry, who? I didn't hear you.
You may have heard of this little movie Skinamarink, and I think we have a Skinamarink.
Jamie's
hey,
here.
Jamie, we're talking about you, Jamie. And there, and Jamie played the mother in Skinamarink, by the way. So good friends of ours, and so we're going to give away 10 posters, and we'll sign them if you want. We'll leave them alone if you don't want them signed. You don't want our scribble and scroll on them. We're giving away 5 T-shirts. So it's the posters are going to the first 10 people that come up to us at the table before the event and say the magic word 3 times: Ouija, Ouija, Ouija. The T-shirts, they have to work a little bit harder. We need that, but there's also a graphic, an image on our Facebook group page of kind of a ticket. And so we need you to bring a screenshot of that in, do the Ouija. First 5 people get a t-shirt. So, and they're really nice shirts. Nice. It's got that design on it. So, we just like to give stuff out, but we've got, I don't know, 100 and some lanyards or whatever. So those are going to be going left and right. And just, always trying to make it fun again and get people part of the experience instead of like, hey, you sit there and watch this. It's like, we want to, put everything together as much as we could.
So, Rick, what would be your advice if somebody was really interested in seeing a certain movie? How far in advance should they get there, get seated?
Well, like I was saying, in the green room, it's like it's really hit or miss as far as the crowds we get. And we've been getting pretty steady crowds in there, but you have to remember, as a person attending Megacon, the Hollywood Horror Picture Show is just one of so many events. So that's why we tell all our filmmakers that do your best to promote your project as much as possible, because the bottom line is we want to get as many butts in the seat to watch your films as possible. That's what it's all about to me, is giving everybody their 15 minutes and allowing them to be able to, show their movie and their works to everybody else. So, but like I said, if you have a film festival that's just at a movie theater and that's all, everybody there is to watch that film festival and they're going to be there the whole time. But when you've got Megacon and you've got all those guests and all those events going on, it's really hard. So if you get a crowd to watch your movie, then people want to come see your movie. So we're really happy about that.
Very cool.
Yeah, Megacon has. I'm sorry, Joe.
No, please go ahead.
Megacon just exactly what Rick said. I mean, there is no shortage of different things to do. I mean, you want to get a tattoo? There's like Tattoo Alley and the most amazing tattoo artists.
I know.
Anywhere. I mean, gorgeous, right? They do amazing work. If you want to see artists at work, if you want to see comic illustrators, of course the guest lineup is completely insane. Kelly, this is my other half. Kelly, meet Rick. And
she'll be there.
The guest lineup is crazy this year. It's just such it's just such a huge event coming up, and again, it's all we've been focused on lately. So can't be any more excited about being there. And
I'm excited about the whole movie experience. Rick, are there concessions there, like popcorn and stuff?
Oh yeah. They've got plenty of vendors there with plenty of food and plenty of drinks that are willing to drain your wallet at a moment's notice, and they will. So I definitely suggest you eat before you go. But no, they've got pretty much everything you could think of.
That is amazing. So there's about, I forget, 8 films a day between shorts and features?
8 films a day? Oh no, there's more than that.
Oh, is there? Okay, I must have been looking at the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Every day we've got at least 2 feature films. We like to have a feature film open and a feature film close the day. And then in between that, we have 1 to 2 short blocks. And the short blocks can have anywhere between 1 or 2 or 10, depending on, we try to keep the blocks at around 2.5 hours. So it's usually a pretty full day, because we go from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Fridays, 7 p.m. on Saturday, and then I believe 5 p.m. on Sunday.
And then you pass out Monday and Tuesday.
Well, I'm usually passed out on Sunday. That's why I have other people come in and help me, so I can just find a nice corner somewhere. I'm getting too old for this stuff.
That is awesome. So guys, what I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring the young ladies up from Harlow's Haunt, and a couple have actually worked with Rick on his new short. So Terry, I'm going to let you do the introductions, please.
Okie doke. We can bring up let's bring up Aimee Rolfsen, since
hey guys.
Aimee again?
Aimee again.
And I know this is actually really fun because I worked with all 3 of you in different capacities. So to have everybody together on the show, I feel like we're celebrating, but we are, because we're all going to be at Megacon this weekend celebrating, what we do. We're filmmakers, we're actors, we're creators, we're artists. And I can't wait to hang out with all of you there. And Rick, congratulations, 20 years with the film festival. That's a milestone. Really remarkable. I didn't know that. And we're so appreciative of you having us a part of the festival. That makes this weekend so much more exciting and special for us. So thank you.
It does. It truly does.
Thank you for being a part of it.
But that's 20 years of hard work, and awesome. And I'm sure it's only gotten bigger and more demanding. So huge kudos for that.
Our first one, I remember, was actually, I can't remember the exact shopping mall, but it was some half defunct shopping mall in St. Pete, where we had some little area that was kind of just had little bed sheets around it, squared off, and there was the main attraction. There was a big haunted mansion in the corner, so people stopped by and saw our little event, and I kept thinking like, this is never going to work. And here we are 20 years later.
Megacon of all places. It's so cool.
Very cool. Well, moving on, Paul, we bring up somebody else that's also worked with Rick and also one of the stars of Harlow's Haunt, Crystal Gorski.
Hey, Crystal!
Crystal! And she's muted.
And she's got both her eyes.
She does.
Crystal, you're on mute. Your microphone is muted. Oh, okay.
I'm such a nerd. Okay.
Microphone.
Hi.
Woo!
I have both my eyes. So I'm happy for that for now. But
yes.
No, but like Aimee said, thanks, Rick, so much. And congratulations for 20 years. I didn't know that either. Like that's crazy.
It really
so
is.
you've definitely come a long way. And congratulations to both of you on the clock this weekend and wrapping everything. I saw the behind the scenes and it looks amazing. And I can't wait to see it. So
yeah, that location looks insane. That'll be a fun watch.
It really was. It was a beautiful house. I mean, I've seen so many movies with that whole white wall background and no decorations or whatever. In this house, every room had character, and come to find out, every room actually has some characters hanging around. So,
and Rick wanted that house to be a character, and the clock that the story revolves around to be a character, and everything just aligned. And we shot this film in 5 days, a full-length feature film, so it was all hands on deck. And we just went for it, and we did it. So now the film is in post, and they're going to do their magic there, and we're really proud of the work that we did and how we came together, the cast and the crew, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. It's going to be something really special.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely looks fun.
Yeah.
Well, and
I can't wait.
And let's bring on our own Scream Queen, Braille Babcock.
Hey!
I think she's frozen.
Yeah, your camera.
There she is.
I'm frozen in fear.
So, all right,
that's my face. Hello, hi. Thanks for having me. It's so good to be here with everyone. Congratulations to everyone on the clock and the film festival. I love seeing everyone doing great things and sort of like standing on the sidelines being like, yeah, go get them. Like, you guys are doing great. I can't wait to see it. It looks phenomenal.
Thanks so much. Yeah. And you've been busy too. You've been so busy, and you've got a lot going on at Universal. Braille works at Universal Studios, one of many places, and she what do you is it a stilt artist? How do you
a stiltologist.
A stiltologist, yeah, something like that.
She's gorgeous on her stilts, and she's entertaining all of Central Florida. And yeah, you're right. It's fun to see everybody moving on and doing different projects and continue to entertain, because we're artists. That's our heart. That's what we do.
Well, Braille posted some pictures and videos past day or a couple days at the thing you've been doing at Millennia in this big like giant butterfly costume, and it's like, how can you possibly manage this big giant costume up in the air on steel? Yeah, they would be looking for spare parts in the graveyard. It would be a mess. I don't know how you do it. Don't break
a lot of practice and mind over matter and all the things. Yeah.
I don't know, man. If that's at Universal, aren't there people like drinking those really tall beers and everything, and they don't get in your way? And that would freak me out. I'm sorry.
I mean, sometimes they do. You always have to be vigilant and keeping an eye out everywhere. Peripheral is everything. But yeah, you get used to it after a while, as far as being aware of your surroundings and how tall you are and how small everyone else is, and sort of maneuvering yourself accordingly depending on what costume you're in, how heavy it is. Like you were mentioning the giant backpack. The other night I just did another gig where I had like light wings where I had like sticks in my hand, and they were like what you see at like EDC festivals. and it was a very crowded event with food and drinks, and yeah, you just had to be mindful of where you were waving your arms and how, so you don't, whack somebody's eye out or something.
Man, I couldn't
or
even
trip
fathom because I'm like a big guy. If I got on stilts, that would change like my whole center of gravity and everything. And that,
Hey, let's go
would be...
take stilt lessons. Come on, let's do it.
You want to do it?
Come on.
Let's do it.
Let's do it at Megacon.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
Yeah, me and Chris
For everyone.
will be on the sidelines having a drink. We're gonna watch.
Yeah, Aimee, I'm with you.
Now, guys, I only told Rick we were going to have him for a few minutes. I don't want to hold him up, but Rick, give us all the information you can about this weekend and whatever you'd like to plug, please.
Okay. This weekend, like I said, we're going to have 3 full days starting on Friday. We're going to have wall-to-wall feature films, short films. We're going to have filmmaker guests. We're going to have a table out in front of the Hall of Horrors that's going to have where you can meet and greet the filmmakers after you see the films, and they're going to leave some swag there. We're going to have scare actors in the hallways. It's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, MegaCon is an experience that you will always remember, and hopefully the Halloween Horror Picture Show will be a good little piece of it for everybody.
So where can people find you and your projects on social media?
As far as me and my projects, I'm at Rick Danford on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram. The Clock has a webpage called theclockmovie.com where you can see some of our first stills that are there and some information about the movie. The Halloween Horror Picture Show has its own website, thehalloweenhorrorpictureshow.com. Definitely go there to see the lineup and links to pictures and everything. We're going to post everything there. So yeah, I'm pretty visible on Facebook and Instagram the most.
Very cool. And you're also on IMDb if people want to see past projects, right? Absolutely. All right. Everybody say goodnight to Rick. Rick, thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to seeing you on Saturday.
All right. Don't stay up too late. No drinking, Aimee, okay?
All right. Saturday.
We'll watch her.
Good night, Rick.
All right. Good night, guys.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Good night.
What an awesome guy.
Dude.
Yeah, he sure is.
He really is. Yeah. I look forward to working with him one day. We've talked in the past, and we just never quite got there.
Yeah, he's wonderful to work with. Crystal and I have had a great experience. And when like I said, we shot that film in 5 days, which sounds insane, and it was, but it took everybody just screwing their heads on straight in the right direction and showing up and being prepared. And there was so much planning behind it. We made it work. So
yeah. Well, I think it's cool that everybody has their creative aspects here. And Braille, are you going to be doing more acting? Are you going to be pursuing that, or are you going to keep with the stage dance thing? I don't know what to call it. I apologize. I don't know if I'm using the wrong word.
I mean, it's one of those things where like I just love what I do. Like I love performing. I grew up doing musical theater, and I'm a classically trained opera singer. Like I do all kinds of stuff. So it's one of those things where I have like all these different like passions in the performance realm, including acting for TV and film. And it's one of those things where I mean, as you can see, I go for it all 110%, and because I just love to do it. So I would absolutely love to continue doing TV film and pursuing that actively as a career for sure. Especially after this experience with Harlow's Haunt, I have a strong love and passion for horror that I would love to continue pursuing throughout the future. Yeah.
Hold on one second. I'm getting a call on my Cricket wireless phone.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Cricket.
Yeah.
Tell
me a little bit about Cricket.
Yeah, I filmed a commercial. They flew me out to LA, and I filmed a commercial for Cricket Wireless, and I think it was September, like late September. Yeah, wow. It was kind of fun. Ogora Hills, it's beautiful. Like if the taxes weren't, 380%, I would say like that's not move there, but it's a little bit too much.
Crystal, you were at a convention last weekend. What, the New Jersey Horror Con? How'd that go? Did you see John?
It went so good. Yes, I saw John. I brought the little mini. I should have had him with me. The little mini. Hey, Doug. Doug's here now too. Doug actually
Hey,
is the
Doug.
one that invited me out. Yes. So
Thank
Doug is amazing. He is amazing. He introduced me to everybody that I didn't know, which was everybody but John. And I met some just amazing people there. But John and I signed the mini posters, and I got to sign my first autograph, which was actually on Doug's DVD, right there at John's table. And then someone else asked me for my autograph too. So I was like, just mind blown. It was a crazy weekend. I got to meet the Levy brothers, which was like a big highlight as well. So they are amazing. Like, what creative like geniuses, honestly. And they love what they do so much. They're so passionate. It makes you like, even, and I'm so passionate about this, but being with them, like, I just,
well, but wait, you got to explain.
motivated.
You got to explain who the Levy brothers are with Terrifier, Terrifier 2, Stream.
Yeah. So they're both co-producers for Terrifier 2, Stream, like all those movies. And you know, Jason's actually freaking hysterical. Like, definitely, you know, go to their IMDb pages and check out some of their past work, because it's not just Terrifier. Like, they've been in this industry for so long, and they know what they're doing. You know, it's definitely quality over quantity with their projects, and it just shows through. Like, look at how they're doing. And it was nice to be able to tell them that they, you know, we were watching from the outside as their movie was just exploding, you know, and it was so exciting to watch as, you know, being in indie films as an actor or filmmaker, you know, from the outside, seeing somebody do this, and or all these people come together, make this creative project, and it just doing so well. It really inspires us and excites us. So it was really cool to be able to talk to them, for sure.
They're absolutely amazing. Terry, you remember that one time a couple of years ago, we had that first online convention, horror convention.
Didn't we have some people on a thing? And
I think we had a panel, a Terrifier panel with the Levy brothers and Damien, maybe David and Philip.
Yeah, that was a fun panel. That was
it was an amazing panel. And let me tell you, that's the first time I like really did it was an online panel, but let me tell you, I was a little intimidated at the time. I got to be honest. But we had a Texas Chainsaw panel that day, and also, I'm trying to remember.
We did the Blair Witch panel too.
Blair Witch panel, yeah. So
we had some good stuff in there.
And some guy taught us about drones. I can't remember his name though. Some good-looking fella.
Yeah, damn handsome. Got to get that part right.
And trust me, he's a diva. If he doesn't get his hot dogs, then forget about it.
Yeah. You got to fuel the machine.
Oh, here we go with the hot dog.
Solar power here. I mean, we got to rely on, you know.
So, Aimee, talk to me. You've had a lot going on.
What do you want to know? Everything. Well, Crystal's trip, I was this close to hopping on an airplane and flying out to New Jersey, because I've been talking to her and Doug, and I really wanted to go. So we're gonna plan another trip for the end of the year, sometime in the fall, to go back. I was trying to like get off. I wrapped the clock like early in the morning on Sunday and was like looking at flights at 6:30 a.m. like 5 hours later to fly out there, but it just got crazy. But so yeah, just wrapped the clock. I have another, Crystal and I both have another project with Rick Danford coming up. We're going to start shooting in May. Another horror genre film that we're doing. And I have another horror feature film that I'm working on beginning June and July called The End. That is with Greasy Boys Productions. That's also going to be shooting in Central Florida. And we're revamping the play that I did last year, Icebreakers, all-female cast comedy. So that's going to start picking up rehearsals here. I'm just waiting for the call any week now. We're going to regroup for that. So busy. And then we're promoting, you know, Harlow's Haunt, which is, you know, our baby. We've got all these cons lined up that we are so excited are finally here so that we can get the gang back together and meet up and, you know, just promote this film that we're so proud of. You know, it's picked up a lot of momentum, and now that we're with Bayview, we can't wait to see what they do with it. We know that they are working super hard.
Sorry, who are you with?
Baby Entertainment. They're working hard for us behind the curtains, and they've been nothing but wonderful so far. So just a lot of really exciting things. Terry and I have been, writing and throwing stuff around. So it's nonstop, but in the best possible way. And, if I'm not on set or writing or doing a play, my ass is in class. Like, you never stop learning your craft. And, I know it sounds crazy and it sounds busy, but that's just how hard you have to go. It's so competitive, and this industry is so saturated with so many talented actors and actresses and writers and producers and filmmakers that, when you love it as much as we do, you can't help but live and breathe it. So that's what I'm doing.
All right.
Well
So I got a
said.
question for all of you guys, but I'll wait for an answer at the end of the program. Okay. So here's the question.
It's multiple choice.
D, all of the above.
Is it open book?
Well, open beer maybe, but
Open beer. I've got an open Mr. Pibb.
So guys, at a convention or during one of these kind of chats, what is one question you've never been asked that you wish you had? Wait until the end of the show.
Interesting.
I'm not digging for shit to bring at the con. No.
I'm sorry, I can't answer even at the end of the show.
So Terry, I'm curious. I know the DVD was released, and you had it on the web. Are some still these limited special Nightmare Edition ones?
Actually, no. Those are no longer available. Since we've signed with Bayview, they will be releasing a even specialer Blu-ray, and at some point. So those are highly coveted collectibles at this point, because we just released those sort of right out of the gate once we got the edit done, because we had so many people wanting to see the movie that followed us for over a year. And so we just had some DVDs printed up and self-released them that way. And I have them available there for a while. A lot of people bought them. We really appreciate your support in getting those. Some went out to reviewers and influencers and all for review and articles. And again, the word I keep coming back to is humbled at the feedback we got from so many people that saw the movie based on that. And so after we signed with Bayview, they're the exclusive distributors. So anything from here on out, they're managing as far as physical media, location, global release, or wherever it goes at whatever stages of the game. The ball's all in their court for that. So that's all I got.
All right, Braille.
There happens to be a few floating around, but I'm gonna cash those in one day when they're worth thousands.
Fair enough.
Is a shekel worth anything?
So Braille, how do you feel about being a poster girl?
It's wild. It's one of those things where at first, like, seeing it out, like in the world per se, it was one of those kind of like surreal, like just kind of awkward things where you're just like, that's my face. That's my face screaming with my mouth wide open.
Every morning I look in the mirror.
But yeah, after a while, it's like, oh, this is kind of cool, it's still just wild, no matter how many times I see it like out in the wild. It's wild. Seeing it on t-shirts and on the wall and just up on screens, and it's crazy.
It's kind of crossing into that iconic thing. It's like when people see it, they immediately know it's Harlow's Haunt. They immediately know it's got that thing. And I hear that feedback and that kind of stuff. It's like immediately, boom, that screaming face. So good screen.
Yeah,
it's a memorable image. It's unique.
It's one of those things where. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No. Go ahead.
The audio is so weird on the internet. It's like, there's like a delay. Sorry if I like ran over you. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's an image that I think was so well chosen because it's an image that I feel like will probably be burned into some people's brains after they see this. So then it's like seeing it on the poster, especially with the color scheme and everything. It definitely gives that, like you said, like that iconic like wow factor of I remember that. Like I remember that moment. I'll never forget that. And that's really cool. Yeah, I think that sets a bar for sure. It
definitely is, and that is, if in case people don't know, and those that haven't seen the film wouldn't know, but that is a scene from the film. And I want to throw some credit to our art guy Kevin Cleveland that put that together. And it's again, it's that's why you see it on everything, all our stuff. It's just it's the look. I mean, it's the thing, and it encapsulates the whole essence of the movie in so many ways. And once you see the movie, then that image will make sense in multiple ways.
All right, guys, I'm going to have to ask a couple of cookie cutter questions just because, that's what we do. Oh, wait, hold on. What is Doug saying? Doug is saying, thanks, Terry. I have my autograph now limited special edition DVD right next to my first pressing of our Terrifier 2 soundtrack.
Man, that's treasured company. So, wow. Thank you for
wow.
That. No, thank you, Doug. Yeah, that
I want to add this about Doug, guys. So like quite literally, when I say he introduced me to everybody, it was probably 100 people. And this is what he said every time. Hey, this is the girl I told you about, the actress from Harlow's Haunt, Crystal Gorski. And then I would shake hands. Literally every single person in that building got to hear Harlow's Haunt, and they got to hear about Harlow's Haunt because of Doug. Like
Doug, we appreciate your support.
Man. Yeah.
He has been supporting us like as far back as I can remember starting this project. And he couldn't be nicer of a human being, and he's so genuine. I love, Crystal, that you had that opportunity to go out there and spend that time with him. That's just who he is. So we look forward to returning the favor and helping Doug however we can, from our end. But thank you so much for all the love and support. Really,
we got to get you down here for a visit, Doug.
Yeah.
I was telling him to come down for Spooky Empire because actually he was just talking about Paul Wiley is going to be there, and his girlfriend Crystal, who I met. I love her. I adore her. So I'm going to go. And I told Doug, I'm like, come down. Let's just like do a group. Like, let's go. Let's like enjoy the convention, So hopefully he can come down in May.
It'd be awesome.
That would be awesome.
So did you all get the opportunity to work with John?
Braille did not.
Braille did not. Braille, you didn't make the trip just for the hell of it and say, hey, John. So I'm going to flip up a couple of pictures that I just think are.
You said flip up.
Wow. I did say flip. Does that have anything to do with a rabbit or eating lettuce? I was so lost before. It's not even funny.
That's a nice sweaty look.
I'm sorry. Did you want the sweaty look? I'll show you the sweaty look.
Yeah, you want to talk about somebody working hard.
Yeah. You notice how far away I am from John.
Yeah, and I'm kind of holding him up.
I'm not going to say someone smelled, and it could have been me, but no, I'm kidding.
It was
How hot was it out there?
183.
Your backlights are like that day. It was like.
I'm telling you, I had a blast on the set, and you guys were just freaking amazing. So, and okay, some of them are my blurry pictures. You got to forgive me, but
those are fun to see.
The blurry pictures are fun to see.
Yeah.
And I still got to show my favorite because John and I, when we get together, we tend to do a mean mug face, and we just can't hold it in. And so
that looks like the faces you'd see if somebody opens the trunk lid and you're looking up.
Oh boy.
That'll be in Harlow's too.
Why do you think I got a haircut?
Oh. Yeah, you got me thinking now.
Yeah.
Isn't that something we do? It's
Hey,
something we'll be known for now.
And Christine
Hey.
in our film.
Christine is one of the
she's one of our lead actresses. She plays Amber. She unfortunately has another commitment. She can't be with us at Megacon on Saturday, but
she's also like a total badass in like martial arts and everything. So watch out for her.
Just and she's also in Icebreakers with Aimee, the stage play, and she's incredible in that too. So
how fun is that?
That's awesome.
I just keep getting to work
we are too.
with guys left and right. It's the biggest gift. I don't know how I got so dang lucky, but I'm okay with it.
All right, so I gotta ask Braille. I apologize since you didn't work with John, but I gotta ask Terry, Aimee, and Crystal the cookie cutter question. What did you learn the most, or what was the best advice that John gave you guys? I mean, he's just freaking the knowledge this guy has over 40, 50 years acting now. 50, I think.
Yeah, TCM turns 50 next year.
Yeah, and he was a boom guy. He was like
he's done everything. Yeah.
So
I'll let the ladies go first.
Crystal, I think you.
Wow, they're both copping out and going to Crystal. Wow,
such a important, pivotal, beautiful scene with John, and when you guys watch the movie, you'll see that. But I love their relationship on and off camera. So Crystal, take it, girl.
Yeah. So I don't think it's any piece of advice. Working with John, it was very comfortable, very natural. And John and I have some things in common, that kind of our memories aren't the best anymore because of some reasons. And we were both very nervous. And I think just the way that he was so calming on set, I think we were able just to do that with each other. And we just kind of went with it, and I don't know. John is just, there's nobody like John. Like he just,
that's an understatement.
And not like that. You see the goofy John, but like on set, he is just like magically professional, like you see John and you think like, okay, yeah, John's going to be a goof or whatever. But when it goes action, he's in character and he's ready to go. And when you go through all this training as an actor, you're taught to like play off your scene partner, right? And if your scene partner doesn't have the right emotions or they're not like emotionally invested in that scene and in you, it doesn't work. And with John, he was 100% invested in that character. He was that character. And it made me become Eldora and I was that character. And that's why the scene came out the way that it did. And you're not going to get that with every scene partner. It's just, it doesn't happen. It's actually pretty freaking magical. So no actual words of advice, but just he's one of the best actors I've ever worked with. So yeah.
Nice. And just remember, guys, I'm going to be asking you that question at the end of the show. So start thinking. So
I forgot the question.
Who forgot the Crystal, did you say you forgot the question?
I forgot the question. Just ask me at the end and I'll wing it.
See, that's the kind of professionalism we have at Harlow's Haunt.
Make it up as we go.
I like to improv.
Yeah, there you go. What do you think I've been doing for 6 years?
Yeah.
Aimee, go.
Kind of like Crystal, no words of wisdom, but John is just, he has the best energy to be around and you feel it the second you meet him. And, Terry tried to prepare us for that. He's like, oh, you're going to love John. And it's like, well, yeah, I'm going to love him. But then you meet him and you're like, no, I really love you. Because, he's so personable and he's real and he's grounded. And he showed up and he, as soon as the camera started rolling, like Crystal said, it was like a light came on and the way that one way how I learn as an actor is by observing. I love to watch film to observe, and I will have to watch a movie or a show twice because I can't watch it and enjoy it the first time. I watch it and I watch them as actors, and I watch the choices that they made and their subtext and how they work together. I've always been fascinated by that as a kid. And then I'll watch it again and kind of like throw all that away and try to watch it, you know, objectively and just enjoy what I'm seeing. But when I got, you know, we were all in the cabin that night and we had already been working about 12 hours that day, and Dugan and Crystal shot the scene at the table that you see in the film. I feel like I learned so much just by being in the room and pinging off what Crystal said, watching them and the trust that they had together as scene partners and how they fed off of each other and how they were in the moment and they were listening and responding, not just with their words, but with their movements. It was such a beautiful scene. It will probably be one of my favorite scenes of all time, just because I got to experience it in real life. And I love watching that scene over and over again, just to, you know, pick out these little things that I love that they both did. So for me, just watching him work was a gift, and I learned so much just being around him.
Man, I was kicking myself in the ass because I left right before that.
Yeah.
You sure did. Well, you didn't want to stick around until 4.
You know, you missed it, and that stinks, but it was a memory I'll never forget.
Right. That was excellent, Mr. Jarrell.
Well, I'm kind of going off what Aimee and Crystal both said. I'm real big on, and I'm so sorry you'll have to hear me say this again, on energy and the energy that goes into a scene, the energy that goes into a shot. You know, if you're holding the camera, if you're, you know, working the sound, whatever, you're trying to capture an energy because you want to transfer that through the entire process to the final viewer, the audience. And John brings such a positive energy as a person, as a human, that like Aimee said, I try to prep everybody. You're just going to love John. You're going to fall in love. You're not going to want him to leave. And that's how it ended up. But also as a creative, as an actor, as a creative behind the camera, because we talked a lot. I can't say he gave me any one piece of advice, but we talked a lot about his experience doing lights, doing sounds. You know, after the shoot, we would go, you know, have a beer or something, hang out for a bit, and he would just tell me stories about different projects he's worked on, which it's endless. And he's got so much experience. And I would just sit there like a sponge trying to just soak up as much of this wisdom and tutelage from him, that from what he has experienced. He, you know, told me things that worked, things that didn't work. And there's so much to learn from somebody like that. But then to see him in a scene like the table scene, when we called cut, and again, we've talked about this a bunch of times before, when we called cut, it was just, I think it was just the 4 of us, just John and Crystal in the scene and Aimee and I behind the camera. We called cut and the room was just dead silent. It was like, what in the hell just happened here? It was like, this is lightning in a bottle. And we shot it a second time just to have, but that first take is what you see. And it's a 6.5 minute unflinching single take. And it wasn't, you know, a bunch of little shots put together, and to carry that momentum for them to turn into Harlow and Eldora, it was there were sparks coming off the scene. So,
well, I mean, especially for Crystal, I mean, that had to be nerve-wracking, a 6.5 minute long scene with John Dugan.
Okay, let me tell you what's nerve-wracking. So Terry, I meet Terry and we talk, right? And when you talk to Terry, it's not a 5-minute conversation. We message back and forth, and we've talked about this every podcast. We message back and forth for hours, right? And I read the script and I looked at it, and, you know, there was literally, I think, 15 pages of paragraphs, and it would be 1 full page of my paragraphs, 1 full page of John's paragraphs, 2 pages of my paragraphs. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, how am I ever going to remember all of this. It's my first feature film. I was like, wow, what, how am I going to do that? So yeah, that was nerve wracking. And it took a long time to memorize all that. And, and John was on the same page, so we both went into it with the same like nervousness. I remember John posting a few days before filming that he couldn't sleep because he was like, oh my God, how am I going to remember all that? Like we were both on the same page. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to message John like, hey, and we're like, you know what, we're just going to do the scene. We're just going to do it. And that's it, and so I went in with a comfortability of knowing that we had spoken and we talked about, we're going to screw this up. We used other words, but it was like, we're screwing this up. Right. But it's okay because Terry loves us. So we'll be all right. Right. But, 75 takes later, we'll probably have it out. And, we were at the table and I just talked to John about this weekend. We were at the table and we had finished, what we did, and cut happened and it was silent. And we were both like, oh, beep. What, that must have been horrible. Like, what, why is everybody so quiet? Like we had no idea what we had done. And just everybody was quiet. So yeah, no, it wasn't really nerve wracking. And as soon as it started, before it was like, how are we going to do this? And then action, and all the nerves went away. So,
well,
yeah.
You all, and from a director's perspective, and I wrote it, you all did precisely way more justice to the roles than what I had written. You embodied them. You put them on like a costume, or maybe not a costume, but you put them on like they just fit. You just slipped into the characters, and that's what any director would hope for, that you embody it. That it's one thing. I won't say anybody, but you can, to an extent, anybody can memorize lines and spit the words out, and go through some body language, pre-program it and do whatever. But, when we were there on set and we were working through that, the thing that we discussed, it's like, okay, where these characters came from, what their background is, where they're trying to lead. And then there's that undertone of other things going on that, it's kind of like a card under the table thing. And so there was a lot of stuff going on, a lot of emotional stuff. And John absorbed that perfectly, and so did you. And then when we called action, you all just became the characters. And that all the time, I'm getting the shot. The first thing, as soon as we called cut, I want to make sure that I had, a card in the camera. I want to make sure I didn't screw it up. And it was like, this is magic. And we had a few scenes like that in the movie, but this one is absolutely the standout. And it opens the movie so amazingly well that I watched it earlier today, and every time I do not get tired of seeing that first act in the movie. It's just such an emotional, powerful thing. So you guys killed it. I mean, just destroyed those parts. It was fantastic.
And I want to follow up and say one thing. That's something that I really love and respect, and I think we can all agree to this about working with Terry, is he's not married to the dialogue. He is the writer. Okay. So we always want to honor the writer as the actor, given a role. And from the get, he's like, listen, if you need to say a line a different way so it's more organic, do that. When you start giving the actor the freedom to become that character in their own way, that's when you're going to get the most grounded performance. So by him allowing that, and I can remember them having this conversation before we rolled, the camera with Crystal and Dugan. He was like, hey, you guys, you know the message that we want to give the audience. The story that we're telling. Say it in your own way, feed off of each other. Let's see what happens. And that's exactly what they did. And that's why it worked so amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree. Like Terry is like, he really just, and I think it comes from his passion for this film. Like he is so passionate about this film and each and every character. And he just wanted to make sure, like Aimee said, that it came out organically, like that these are the characters. And he really gave us so much background on each character that isn't in the script, and no other writer is going to do that. They're not going to have we're not going to say how many hours the Zoom calls were or whatever, but nobody's going to have that much time typically to do that, but he's so passionate about each and every character, big or small, in the film, that he really just, I think it was branded in my brain what he was looking for. And the second that, like I said, action happened, that was it. Like, there's the character. So he picked the perfect cast for every single character, in my opinion. Like, the casting was phenomenal. Like, everybody did such a great job.
It was such great fits, and you know, everybody just did a fantastic job. And again, that good word, organic. I love things to be real and feel real. I'm real big on how a movie feels, more so than how it looks or even sounds. Those are all elements that put together the sensation that you get watching a movie. I mean, you think like The Exorcist or Evil Dead, or you know, even you know, classic Casablanca. You know, movies like, not necessarily horror movies, they make you come away feeling something after the movie. It's just has an impact, and you can take all the elements to build that final emotion. And again, with camera work, I love to shoot handheld. I love to use smaller cameras because it puts you as a viewer, you're kind of strapped to the front of the roller coaster at that point. You're going along for the ride, and you're getting a front row seat. And it's not so sanitized and sterilized and perfection, because that's not reality. That's not the real world. And I love the reality of the that was brought to these roles that all the cast did. Again, John, Crystal, Aimee, Dylan, Braille. I mean, you know, I thought the cops were going to come from Braille screaming, and you know, it was so immersive and so real. I just really like. I love the way it turned out. And again, some of the feedback I've been getting about the ending, about different parts, you know, throughout the film, it's kind of, you know, I get that, you know, that happy dance in my head thing. It's like, you got it. That, okay, they sold the part. They made you feel something about that character, or that part, or that line, or something. So I don't know. We've bunch of monkeys out here shooting a movie, and it just
Well, okay, so it's time for that question now. And we're gonna start off with Braille.
Oh gosh, you're starting with me. I mean, when it comes to like questions and interviews and panels and stuff, I mean, I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. There's not really like a specific question where I'm like, man, I wish they would ask this question. So I mean, yeah,
okay, Braille
I
took
can
the
roll
easy
with
way
whatever.
out. Aimee.
You know, a lot of questions we get are, you know, what's your favorite role that you played, or what is your favorite genre, or how did you get started? I haven't had a lot of people ask me why. And my why is because it's who I am, and it's been inside of me my whole life. I've always been a performer in some way, whether, you know, it was a kid and I was in the dance studio 5 days a week, or I was playing the piano, or I was doing vocal, or I started, you know, musical theater and acting in college. And, you know, I danced professionally. I've always been an entertainer. I know a lot of us here relate to that in some way. And something that sticks with me, and my dad said this to me a long time ago. He was like, Aimee, God gives everybody a gift, and you know what that gift is because you can't stop thinking about it, and you're good at it. That is your gift. And if you can take that and focus on it and use it, that's your golden ticket. That's what gets you by in this life. Not only can you make a living off of it, but if you are passionate about what you do, who doesn't want to love what they do every day? So many people think that we do this for fame and for fortune. And like, yeah, money is great, but at the end of the day, I want to feel good about the life that I live and who I'm working with, and to be able to express myself as an artist. And, you know, I want to share that. So that's my why I do this. And I think we all have that why, whether it's acting or whatever it is that you do, but just do it passionately and fearlessly, because I'm scared as hell all the time when I take on a new role, or I try something new, or, I think, well, that's a stretch, but once you get into it and you dig in and you focus and you put your head down and you go, the next thing you know, you're on the other side of it and you're like, holy shit, that was amazing. I'm so glad I said yes. And then there you have this whole new growth, and then you're on to the next thing. And, I encourage everybody to do that no matter what it is that you love to do. Just keep doing it and do it fearlessly and go see where it takes you.
Okay, thank you, Aimee. I now feel like an underachiever. Next, Crystal.
Aimee, I love all of that, like literally every single thing. And I've been asked that question before, and I have similar answers to that, so I just love that. And the thing is, I was talking about you today to somebody, and we're going to talk about that later. But I mean, you are literally one of the more passionate people that I have met in this industry. And you, yeah, I mean, girl, you picked up anything that was missing. Like, you filled the gap. It didn't matter. You didn't care whether you were holding a boom mic, or you were holding a script, or you were reading a line for someone, or you were running to grab a water, or you were setting up or breaking down a table, or you were acting your ass off. Like, you did it all of it. You weren't asked to, you wanted to be there. You put yourself in there because you just love it so much. And that's like, that it's so inspirational, like that's wonderful. So I love it. I love you. Anyways, moving on from that, I love you.
You guys make it easy. When you get a group like this together, it's easy just to want to help out and pitch in and make it all happen. And so that's where that all came from. And we all hands on deck, every single one of us sitting here right now. And that's how we got it done.
Yes, absolutely. So I love that. I'm trying to not answer the question, Joe.
I gathered that you've been dodging it pretty well.
But no,
Terry.
Well, I was gonna say going. I'm always pointing the wrong directions. It's mirrored, so it's awkward. I'll just point both directions. Going off of what Aimee said, I love when people, or like younger audience members per se, will ask, like, what got you into this? Like, how did you get to where you are now? Or like, what's your story? Because like, similar to what Aimee said, growing up and even now, I love hearing like the journey per se of, my favorite actors, or, performers, and sort of their story and their timeline of, oh, well, I started here and then I moved on to this, and then I did this, and I worked this job for a while, and then this picked me up here, and then it was off from there. And I think we can all learn something from everybody's stories and experiences, and I know I did growing up when I was younger, and so I love passing on sort of that information and my story and our story as well to everyone, to not only like educate them and help them on their journey, but also to sort of reflect and be like, whoa, like that's really cool that I can now pass that on to somebody else.
All right, before we get to Terry, I'm going to hit a couple of comments real fast. Oh, yeah, and she got to meet my buddy Felissa Rose. I have a bunch of pics on my Instagram. Terry, we don't know anything about her, do we?
I've heard the name, yeah.
Wasn't it her and Dave? Was it Dave?
Yeah,
Dan?
Dave Sheridan?
Yeah, Sheridan.
Yeah, from the con we were at about a year ago.
Yeah, I think I got something signed that I was going to send you from both of them. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I'll send you my address.
They're good folks. I have your address.
They are.
Ellie said, perfect cast and crew.
Yep,
I agree with that. Aaron saying, I felt the passion from Aimee while answering that question. Right on. And Cryptid Pictures, when is the film's official release?
Dead air, dead silence. We don't have that information at the moment, but stay tuned, because we will, once the official release date is posted, again, that's in Bayview's hands, Bayview Entertainment. They are, again, working on all the channels and all the different methods, places, and ways it'll hit the airwaves and all that stuff. So we will be posting that primarily on our Facebook group, Harlow's Haunt Movie. So I encourage everybody to sign up there because that's the exclusive outlet for all our news. We also have Instagram and Twitter and all that, but you're going to see it on Facebook, our Facebook group first. So that's the one, absolute, follow us there for all that information. And we post stuff pretty much every day. We kind of bombard it because, again, we like being in contact and maintaining, we want you to know what's going on.
So guys, I have one more question, if I may, and then we're going to wrap it up and hit everybody's socials. A question I like to ask, and this may be a little premature. I don't know. Most of you have been in the industry for a little while. People love to build and learn and get confidence from other people's mishaps. A while ago, we had William Sadler on one of David Lee Madison's The End of the Night shows. And
nice.
he broke the ice by telling us an embarrassing story that he had on stage. And he had the flu. He crapped himself, basically.
Oh, no.
And he had to still perform. And if you guys seen William Sadler perform, I mean, he's freaking amazing. So, guys, each of you, do you have an embarrassing story that might help build the confidence of people that are just getting into the industry that could help them out? Terry, let's start with you.
Me embarrassed? I can't think of something that actually say embarrassed, but there's been plenty of awkward things happen, and in different projects I've worked on, there a lot of times you go into things you're not exactly certain, and in this business you can calculate and plan and plot all you want. You get on set, something's going to hit you in the face like a snowball, so you kind of have to be prepared for that. And that's caused me some awkward things, like maybe a piece of gear going down, a battery not being charged you thought was charged that you need in a pinch, things like that. So that can kind of make you look like an idiot. So things like that they have happened, they're going to happen. And my biggest workaround for that is in preparation. It kind of all goes back to prep. So I'm kind of psychotic about that, like checking, double checking, triple checking everything to avoid that kind of stuff. But as far as like one single embarrassing thing, I don't know, just stuffing my face full of these magical things called doniscets that were brought to set one day. And
how did I know this? Every interview has the doniscets.
You have to bring doniscets.
I should bring some to Megacon for the premiere.
Yes, bring
what the donisc.
Don't even say that if you're kidding, honestly.
It's a donut and a what? Biscuit?
It's a Braille concoction. Braille is also an astounding pastry chef. And she made these like crazy biscuits, but stuffed them with like donut stuffing and glazes and jellies and creams and drizzles. I'm telling you, if you brought some to set and it was on I can't remember what. I can't remember what shoot. See, now I'm getting embarrassed.
I think it was the day we were shooting the hallway scene.
Was it the hallway scene?
If I'm remembering correctly, or
was that
no,
the pastries
no, it was the
crotch.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there was the doniscets did show up in the behind the scenes video. They made a showing.
Took like 100 pictures of them. So
they're so good.
I presented them in like a nice little like container, and
I remember seeing those pictures now.
So I was embarrassed, I guess, when people were saying, "Hey, can we get on the shot?" And I'm like,
he's just stuffing his face.
Gotta hit a couple of more comments, and we have looking forward to supporting and sharing it everywhere. Congrats to you all. Thank you very
much. We appreciate your support.
And going to be looking for you guys on the floor.
Nice. Come say hi. Come get a
card.
So Terry, you answered the last question. You get to pick the next person who gets to answer it.
I would say eeny, miny, meeny, miny, Larry, Curly, and Mo. I'd say Crystal because she's been
because she dodged the last question.
She dodged the last question. She's shaking her head. So you couldn't put a red spotlight on anymore. So
I would say it's not unmuting my mic and talking and saying hi earlier.
We need to answer an essay form, by the way.
I thought like my memory isn't working very well. Like I was trying to think and I thought of something and then I listened to your story and now it's gone. I'm like, uh-oh.
But in the
It's like when your
room
teacher
earlier,
is going to ask you something in class and you like
Yeah.
think of your answer ahead of time and then they get to you and you're like,
and it's gone. I don't know where it went. And it was good too. I was like, oh yeah, someone could learn from that.
We'll have to do another show when you remember.
well, yeah, next time I got to record the green room, so we could have showed her body language when she thought she was speaking to us and moving her hands and everything.
you'll just have to ask it again at Megacon at the panel.
It was
Yes,
a great
yeah,
mind
I'll
show.
come up with it by then.
Okay, Crystal, who are you picking next for that question?
I'm gonna go with Braille.
Oh God, is it because I'm the most embarrassing just in general? Just my existence is embarrassing. Gosh, I mean, I'm with Terry in the answer of, I mean, you have so many things over time that are just awkward or just kind of like cringe. But I mean that's sort of life. Like as a performer, you can't be afraid to fail. You can't be afraid to be super awkward or embarrassing because sometimes you sort of have to work through that to get to what you need to get to. And two, like when you think about performing and acting like from an outside perspective, it's awkward. It can be awkward sometimes. And yeah, you just sort of have to stick with your character and what you know and just keep going. And that's the best advice I can give is especially being an awkward person myself just in real life. You just kind of have to roll with it sometimes and don't be afraid to laugh at yourself and sort of pick up and continue on and be like, well, that happened. I'm gonna
Be over here.
move on.
Brush yourself
Or
off.
just
and
develop a
say,
really good sense of humor and just hope that everybody laughs with you and that it's not too catastrophic and just sort of roll with it.
all right, Aimee,
I
that
remember
leaves
mine.
you.
I
I'm
can go
racking
after
my
Amy.
brain here. I do stupid stuff all the time. I have this one memory of this high school band banquet this one time at band camp. But, it was like an end of the year thing and everybody's in the circle having a dance off and I thought it would be so cool to do the worm.
Oh,
On. So I have this long kind of, I don't know what you call it. It wasn't dressy. It was just like a long kind of spaghetti strap dress. So I'm doing the worm and my dress just goes flying over my head.
Oh no.
It was embarrassing, but I was in good company with friends. So it wasn't that big of a deal. I just popped up and laughed and kept going pretty much. But as far as, on set and being a performer in that way, I don't know. You're going to screw up. Things happen. We're filmmakers, which should also be dubbed as problem solvers.
Problem causers.
Any and everything that's going to happen is probably going to happen. So, if you screw up or you're embarrassed, just hop in and help each other. That's, I guess, the best thing you can do is if somebody, forgets a line in your middle of the scene, pick them up. You're their scene partner. Help them, pull them back in by, we know how to reel them in, reel them back in by jumping in and, just circling back around to the story and the dialogue so they can pick it back up. Or, if you're working crew, just help each other, be a family. Don't just show up and have your blinders on. There's so much happening all around you. It takes so much effort from so many people to make it happen and to keep it going. So, when crazy shit happens, just pitch in and help out and on to the next.
I'm actually going to admit a story that happened to me. And it was actually during a broadcast years ago. Had to be at least 3 years ago. The show was over, but David Lee Madison and George C. Romero and I were kind of like in the green room. And I just got done broadcasting for like 3 hours because I did George's show and then David's show consecutively. I didn't turn my camera off when I went to take a break for a moment, and my daughter's cat jumps on the desk in front of the mic and just is just there. And of course, George and David took a bunch of screenshots of this. And they're like, producer cat. Yeah, that's what we get now. And it's
That's a cute story.
it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's
time.
not.
Oh no,
super
like the cat
embarrassing.
was
That's
like
adorable.
The cat was like angry cat, man. It was like
Just
What do you mean angry cat?
so yeah, that was something. So guys, we're gonna wrap it up. So Terry and everybody go around one time. What do you want to see at Megacon, and what do you want folks to expect from Harlow's Haunt?
I want everybody to come see Harlow's Haunt because I just want to meet everybody, and I think I'm speaking for all of us here. Come see the movie, have fun, get some of our stuff, and hang out for the panel after, because it's in the same room, so you don't have to meander down another hallway looking for another room and all that. There'll be a little break after the movie, and then we'll get the panel rolling, and take your question, kind of like this, like Q&A, and be able to interact. We'll probably tell a bunch of goofy stories about the making of the movie. We'll talk about Doniskets. And just anything that you all want to see. Megacon, kind of going off what Rick said, is just so massive. There is something there, no matter what you're interested in. I mean, if you want to get celebrity autographs, or if you want to get a tattoo, you want to get, a very expensive food. There's and Molly's going to come see us. There's just so much going on there, and the film festival is going to just be chock full of really good films, shorts, and features. So again, there's just so much. So we just want to meet as many people as we can, and shake hands and thank them, thank everyone for their support, and just loving horror, because the horror community is unlike anything. I mean, you don't see this anywhere. The horror fans are the best fans. That's why the Orange County Convention Center is just blasted this weekend, and they're going to be blasted in a couple of months with another con and another con, and there's so many conventions, and it's horror, fantasy, sci-fi. We just did one a couple of weeks ago. Braille was there. It was a smaller one, but it was sort of a comic, or sort of like more of a cosplay like thing. It was smaller, but it doesn't matter if it's a big giant con or a little smaller one like this. The enthusiasm is there, the excitement's there, and the passion from the fans is there. So that's what we really want to connect with and engage with. So,
and I'm assuming after this weekend we could start discussing the one in May.
We will.
Okay, fair enough. I've never seen this asked, I don't think. Do you have a blooper reel?
Oh.
Actually, I've thought about putting one together. It would be about 82 hours long.
Bloopers.
Actually, honestly, I do. I have a ton of outtakes, but the cast was so good, and when we would call action, everybody was so on the mark. There's not a whole lot of bloopers. There's a lot of behind the scenes goofing off between shots and all, but as far as flubbing lines and messing up the scenes, it's not that much. And when I did the editing, it was really hard if I had like 2 or 3 or 5 takes of a certain scene to really pick out the better one, because it was like, man, these are all good. I mean, it's the same, essentially the same scene, the same dialogue, but there were so many good performances to dig through. So there wasn't a whole lot of messed up performances, but there's a lot of behind the scenes goofery.
So is there
on our YouTube page? So if you hop over to YouTube, Harlow's Haunt, we have an entire, over 20 minutes of behind the scenes footage. You can go watch it right now. It's a lot of fun.
I was going to say the same thing Kelly was going to say. Is there any duck footage?
Oh, the ducks. I forgot about the ducks.
Duck photos, unfortunate.
And Aaron,
I might have like 1 or 2.
Hey, thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
Appreciate that.
Yes, thank you, Aaron. All right, guys, we're going to close it out. So who wants to do their socials first?
I'll do mine.
Well, wait, you volunteer for that one?
I remembered my story too, by the way, but that's okay. So my socials are all my name, Crystal Gorski. So I'm on. Oh, a big me. Hi.
Oh no! Wait a minute. I forgot about the embarrassing thing. So I didn't mean to skip over you. So now, Miss Embarrassment, you got front and center.
Oh no! Oh no! Well, it's not on set, but I attended a workshop that my agent was hosting with a big casting director in the Southeast just a couple weeks ago, and we had to send in a tape, a self tape, and I sent mine in, and it was 3 different scenes. And after the second scene, I didn't cut the tape right, which I always double check, but I was in a rush. And after like the scene was over, I went to my scene partner. Did that one come out okay? What did you think? And it played live in front of everybody. And like there were like 75 of us and this casting director. And I almost died. Like I was just like this at the end. I'm like, well, now you guys at least won't forget me, right?
I don't even laugh, but that's really funny.
It was terrifying.
Yeah, we've got Wendy in the house. Hi, Wendy. Wendy has a show coming tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Hold on a second.
Nice.
I think I got this. Do I? I don't know. I never come prepared. I'm so lazy. I have no idea. Ah, there it is. The Indie Escape Network presents the Sticky Microphone Thursday, March 30th at 10 p.m. Eastern with special guest actor, producer, and director Kevin Wayne.
That'll be a fun show.
Yeah. You want to know what else is going on? Get this. So David Lee Madison is going to have Megan Freniche. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I apologize. But she was in that little vampire movie that was like in Alaska, 100 Days of Night.
Oh, yeah. Like 30 Days of Night.
Oh, 30 Days a Night. I'm getting 100. I'm getting our other buddy's film.
Movie. Yeah.
130. I mean,
130 seconds of don't miss.
Ernie O'Donnell and his people did 100 Acres of Hell. That's what I was mixing it up with. My mistake. So yes, and then I have to plug my buddy JW and Rich. Generation Movie. They have the Oscar Decade Cavalcade. God damn, I can't even. Sorry, guys. I can never say that word, and it doesn't help that I had a couple of sips of whiskey. But yeah, that they've been doing it for every decade. They were picking out a movie for the Oscars, so that is next Monday. Sorry, guys, I didn't mean it. Okay, so now, Crystal, your socials. Sorry, because you forgot to say your embarrassing thing and somebody ran over you. And we're not going to mention any names, but it's okay.
Yeah, my fault. So just Crystal Gorski on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. I'm easy to find.
Okay, Crystal, who's next?
Aimee.
Aimee.
Socials, Aimee Rolfsen, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Yeah, it's either Aimee Rolfsen, Aimee.Rolfsen, Aimee_Rolfsen. I can't keep up, but it's there. And definitely head over to Harlow's Haunt, our Facebook page, like Terry was mentioning, and all of our socials are Harlow's Haunt. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We do try to update almost every single day. Feel free to reach out to us on our Harlow's pages or our personal actor pages. We love connecting with you guys. We've met some really cool people, people that we've, connected with online, and then you get to meet them at a con, and it's really cool. And you never know what that connection might lead to, going both ways. So we're pretty open, and we love, just talking about the movie and how passionate we are about working, in the film industry. So definitely find us and connect.
All right. Are you ready, Braille?
I'm ready.
You prepared for class?
Something like that. Kind of, sometimes. So most of the action happens on Instagram. So you can find me at bdazzle20. I have Facebook as well. But I keep my Instagram most up to date. Like I said, that's where all the action happens, all the updates and
Terry, are you starting to understand that like us old guys that started out with like MySpace, that we're the only guys on Facebook anymore? What? Everything is Instagram or
we used to rubber band notes to pigeons' legs. I mean,
do you remember the
social media
cans?
back
with
then.
the line and-
Well, yeah, they still do that. But yeah, MySpace, man, how about that?
And
Those were the days.
Terry, you have Black Dog Films on Instagram, right?
Yeah, Black Dog Films on Instagram. My personal Facebook is just pretty much my name, Terry Jarrell. I think it's Terry L. Jarrell. We're on Twitter and Instagram. You know, Harlow's Haunt stuff. Just Harlow's Haunt everywhere. You know, just all like one word, easy. Except the Facebook group is Harlow's Haunt Movie, and same on YouTube. And again, like Aimee said, we've got some cool videos on there. We've got our new trailer that we cut for Bayview. We have a 20-minute called Behind the Haunt, which was actually the second disc in the DVD set. So you can, you know, you can't get the DVD, but if you want to go onto the YouTube channel and watch that behind the scenes, and it's pretty cool because a big part of that, like the last half of it, is some of the more intense scenes as behind the scenes, how we set that up and got the shots. And basically us just standing around laughing at each other in the dark. But yeah, that would be, just look for Harlow's Haunt everywhere, Black Dog Films with a Z, and just my name, Terry Jarrell, on Facebook. And by all means, feel welcome to just, you know, shoot me a message, say hi, you know, if you have a question, you know, anything. Just because again, we don't, you know, really try to hide out. I mean, we really want to connect with everybody out there and talk about the movie and you know, answer your questions about it and everything, you know, after it's released and as it's moving along here and after Megacon.
Okay, and one more time, can you show us some of the goodies that are going to be at Megacon, please? Well, I would have brought the girls up, man. Come on, they're much better looking, and their beard is not as thick.
You know, I trim my beard for this. I took a shower for this. All right, this is our brand new limited edition poster because we only had, you know, some printed up for Megacon actually. So these aren't going to be everywhere. It's got some of the laurels that we've won thus far, and we've won best horror film in a couple festivals, best thriller, best indie feature, best poster. Kevin got a best poster award for that. Lots of official selections. So yes, that's kind of cool. And
That
we
is
will sign these
amazing.
for you. And then we have the lanyards and a double-sided. Now here's something I want to point out. Of course, it has the, you know, Braille screaming. She screams everywhere. And it's
I do.
this is only for Megacon. So these are all there's going to be. So it's going to be kind of, you know, a cool collectible or something if you want to hang on to, or, you know, take it home, throw it in the drawer or whatever. But on the back, it's got a little bit of information and the laurels, but it also has, it's kind of, I know it's not coming through on the camera, but our QR code, which goes to our link tree, which I will be posting another post on our Facebook group in the morning with that QR code. Our link tree is, you know, everybody knows what that is. It's where you've got all your links to everything, because we're getting more and more articles from reviewers being posted, shows that we're appearing on, you know, different activities. You know, we're just kind of everywhere. We're out there doing all this stuff. So that's a good place to keep up and kind of pick through, you know, the news and videos and all that stuff about what's going on too. So,
all right. So Terry, I'm just letting you know, Molly already won. So
Molly's the first winner.
Molly gets there, then whatever Molly wants.
Molly's winner number one.
So, guys, this has been absolutely awesome. I love speaking with you all. I can't wait until Saturday.
I'm excited to see you guys.
It's going to be
Yeah,
so
I
much
can't wait
fun.
to see everyone.
Being back together.
Terry,
Yes.
you going to close this out, brother?
Yeah, well, I'm terrible at closing. I never know what to say. I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank you all for being here. Joe, I want to thank you for having us on the show. I'm just super stoked beyond, just to see this come from, you know, just me goofy sitting here at 2 a.m. writing this silly story a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, to see it come to this point, and we're like doing this big Megacon event. It's just so insane. I got to give everybody involved so much credit and for bringing this to life. And it ain't stopping. This we've just kind of, we're at kickoff now, and there's some ugly stuff coming, and that's all I'm going to say right now. But yeah, it continues from here. And just again, love having you all, along, being on this ride with you guys. So can't wait to be at Megacon this weekend with you and just have a big time with it.
And everybody, if you haven't already, please go to Harlow's Haunt, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Hit the like, subscribe, all those things. Also, go to the Indie Escape Network on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Hit the like and subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a thing. Helps us out immensely. We greatly appreciate it. And other than that, thank you for joining us, and everybody have a great evening.
Thanks for having us.
See you next time.
Thank you.
See you there, guys. Woo.
Woo.
Wrong one. Who's the irresponsible one that let me put the wrong poster up to begin with?